So, hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version, and this time, so I was not thinking about, I was not thinking of what to speak out actually, and but actually, so before speaking out, so not every time, so after creating some episodes, so I began to create the titles and the conclusions of the title and the conclusion of each episode. So not on the process anyway. So one day I decided to create a title and the conclusion for each episode. And why I began to do such a thing is because I found it really convenient and really easier for me to create episodes of my podcast. So this time, so what I'm going to talk about is in my case, in the case of my smartphone, my smartphone often blacks out. So but I don't know whether but I don't know how the verb blackout conjugates. But actually, anyway, so my smartphone has blacked out seconds before, which is why. So I have just confused. I have just confused. I have just been confused. So I'm not that confusing guy. So I'm a decent person. So I have just been confused. So by the blackout of my smartphone, and by the frequent blackouts of my smartphone. And this time, so I'm going to talk about. So the title is so to beat a devil, it is necessary to become a devil. So I often I have already digressed. So and which I think is confusing for most of the frequent listeners. So but actually so to prevent this episode from becoming getting or from growing further confusing. So I'm going to tell you the conclusion of this episode. So anyway, so the conclusion is to defeat Russian forces, the opponents have to form a stronger and sinister group. So anyway, so to start with, so I'm creating this episode in 2022 in which the Slavic War or the russo-ukrainian war has been prolonged or has still lasted. So which is, and maybe there is no premonition or presentiment indicating the end of that Slavic war. So to start with, that war is a kind of civil war for me. Civil war, which means, so in that war, the participants are Russian Federation and Ukraine, and both of them had been Soviet socialist republics in a country named Soviet Union or USSR officially anyway. So which is why I still think it's possible to call that war a kind of Slavic war, a kind of not Slavic war. It's really a Slavic war, but actually that is a kind of civil war, not an international one. Anyway, of course, in fact, the truth is that war is an international one, but actually, thinking about the fact that both of those two countries are Slavic countries, or Slavonic countries, so which is why it can be said that that war it deserves to be called a civil war anyway. So strictly speaking, of course, that is not a civil war. So anyway, so as I told you, so this episode is related to war, and why I began to say that, to beat a devil or to defeat a devil, it is necessary to become a devil. So I remember that, I had when I was a kid, or when I was a child, there was a comic book I really loved. I don't tell you the title of that comic book, but actually, giving you some pieces of information. So the name of the name of the main protagonist is Meisuke Ueno, and who was a teacher teaching elementary school students, and he had a left hand of a devil, and that devil, and by using Japanese language, that left hand was called oninote, or a hand of devil. I think is a correct pronunciation for oninote, or telling you the meaning of oninote. That means a hand of devil. And there are many translations of devil, and in most cases in my mother tongue, so devil is translated into akuma, but actually, so what is so if you pose a question, or if you ask a question like, so what is the meaning of oni, but actually, I can't come up with a suitable translation for oni, so which is why I used that English word devil for oni, and in most cases devil is translated into akuma in Japanese language, which literally means evil. Anyway, so why I began. I'm going to tell you the basic, the essential idea of this episode. The essential idea, not the conclusion, but the essential idea of this episode is that. So one day, and to start with, that devil, which is confined in his left hand. In his left hand, had a brother, and that devil in his left hand was originally from really a deep hell, really a deep tier of hell. And to start with, according to the story of that comic book, so there are nine tiers in hell, and the bottom tier, or the lowest tier had been called infinite hell, which is the deepest one, and that devil was from the sixth tier, and that had been called maybe shunit, or really hot, or really burning tier of hell. Anyway, so but actually, and the deeper tier, those devils are really stronger. Anyway, there is such a relationship, or there is such a likelihood, according to that story. Anyway, so one day, a brother devil of the devil, which was confiscated, but confined, or which had been incarcerated into his left hand, came to human society. And which one came? If you get confused, which devil came to human society, and so what came to human society? The devil which came to the human society was a brother one, not the devil of his left hand. And to start with, the teacher had the devil in his left hand, and the brother devil of his left hand came to the human society to save the devil, which had been which had been tied to, or which had been incarcerated or confined into his left hand. And anyway, that left hand, the devil was oppressed, or that devil was controlled by a supernatural power, according to that story. So I'm not going to tell you the details of that comic book. Anyway, so but actually, that brother devil came to the human society, and that brother devil was very strong, and that devil was a younger brother, and that devil which had been named Zeki was very strong, and by the way, the name of the devil confined or tied into the left hand of that teacher was named Bati. And anyway, so maybe I should use proper nouns. I should use proper nouns for explaining. So anyway, so finally, so I'm going to tell you the final story of the part of that story. Anyway, so finally, so that Zeki grew really stronger, and but actually, so to defeat Zeki, so the teacher has to become stronger. So which is why that teacher unleashed or relieved the power of Patty. But actually, that teacher could control the psyche or the mental or the mind. That teacher could control the mind of Patty or the young or older brother one in this case. So which is why, so Patty, which was controlled by the teacher, could defeat the younger brother devil named Zeki, which is why Zeki was fallen down to the deepest tier of hell, which was named infinite hell, or Mugenjoku in Japanese language. So using this story, so thinking about how to beat Russian forces. So to beat Russian forces, it's necessary for the opponents to form a stronger and sinister group. So in this case, opponents are Ukraine and other advanced European countries like Great Britain and France and Germany, and maybe Poland. I think Poland is a developing country, but actually Poland is one of the advanced ones, maybe slightly advanced ones compared to other developing European countries. And of course, Nordic countries should join, should help. Of course, Nordic countries should participate in that group, so that it might be possible to beat or defeat Russian forces, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So before ending this episode, I'm going to tell you the title and the conclusion. So the title is To Beat a Devil, It is Necessary to Become a Devil. And the conclusion is to defeat Russian forces, the opponents have to form a stronger and sinister group. Done. So by the way, I live in an advanced Asian country, advanced East Asian country. So and anyway, so I thought I already had told you that where I was from, or in which country I'm creating this episode. And the country is Japan, not the Republic of Korea or South Korea, or nor Singapore. I'm creating this episode in Japan. So that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.